Hi everyone, I decided to make a video in order to explain one of the biggest user experience problems that we have in BTC Pay server. I think that making a video will help you understand it way better than by reading up an issue. So let's begin. So the issue I'd like to tackle today is very important, and I would like to say also critical for BTC Pay server. When user deploys their own BTC Pay server, first thing they have to do is just like create an account. So I'm using my developer environment. Some things may be slightly different, but it is like the workflow is similar for any user using any sort of BTC Pay server, whether it's self-hosted or either they're using someone else's BTC Pay server. So the first thing they have to do is create an account. I now have an account, so I won't be creating it. But don't pay attention to this right now, because the actual problem I'd like to tackle in this video is called wallet setup. In our documentation, I try to explain like different ways in which user can connect in a way their wallet to their BTC Pay server, because in past when BTC Pay server started, we never had a wallet setup. As you can see here, we now have like an entire wallet which you can use. And unfortunately, when BTC Pay first started, our main concept was the store. So inside the store, user had actually to add their external public key. From that external public key, BTC Pay server derives addresses and generates invoices. So any funds coming to that external public key will be available in the external wallet you're using. So to give you a better example, this is how things work in past, and I'm trying to explain it to you how it worked in past so that you can understand some of the decisions we made here, which are not ideal, but software evolved over the time, and you need to explain like the history in order to understand why the UI and the UX is not perfect, especially for this critical part of BTC Pay server. So after creating the account, first thing user needs to do is create a store. So they would go to, and again, there are many other user experience problems we can solve in this process, but let's not focus on that in this video. So let's say that I want to create a new store. I want to call it test store 3, for example. And this is what user have. So you created a store, and that's basically it. We don't tell them what to do afterwards. So they usually refer to our documentation, and what I would like to do is make all this process way more intuitive, because look at what user now has to do in order to properly configure a wallet. Yes, I'm configuring a wallet inside the store, not the wallet, and that's a whole nother story, but I will get to that in a moment. So when user creates a store, they need to scroll all the way through here, derivation scheme, and you will see derivation scheme represents destination of the funds received by your invoice on chain. Of course, this is also not ideal. And now we expect them to know that they need to click here in order to, in a way, configure their wallet. So they go here and they're greeted with this here. So as I said, the user experience here is pretty bad. It's probably the worst part of BTC Pay server, I must say, but we are doing all of these efforts in order to improve it, because once we improve this initial setup, I think that everything else is pretty much easy to fix and solve. Anyway, so as I said, in our documentation, I explained that you can use an existing wallet with your BTC Pay server or create a brand new wallet. In the past, we only allowed users to use an existing wallet. So let's say you create a wallet in your Electrum. From your Electrum, you export the XPub key and you paste it here. And yeah, we, as you see, we really don't tell users. It's really not intuitive. So yeah, that's how you add a public key to your BTC Pay server from an existing wallet. That's one of the ways. Of course, now we have this import from, where you can click here and, oh, sorry, one more thing. When you add your extended public key, we expect users to know that depending on the address type they want, whether it's SegWit or not, that they, let's say that you pasted your XPub key here, I don't know, XPub something. I actually have some XPubs here. So yeah, user pasted this from Electrum, and now we expect them to know that they need to add this suffix at the end, which is definitely not ideal. I mean, this whole thing needs to change here, but I'm now trying to provide you with a workflow and the pains in which user needs to go through in order to set up a wallet. So this is how you add an XPub key manually. What users can do is, of course, import. As you can see, now we have this import button, which is basically they can import it from their hardware wallet, from a wallet file, from Electrum, Wasabi, and so on, or create a new and existing wallet. And you see that our documentation, actually, I first made documents in order to understand how everything works. So I'm trying now to explain to you what, in my view, is ideal user experience here. So anyway, let's say that user wants to import from their hardware wallet. They click here, and BTC Pay server has a direct hardware wallet integration, which means we have this software called BTC Pay Server Vault, which you download from GitHub and simply install it. It's a very simple app. You can see it here. But when you import from hardware wallet, for example, you don't know that you need to download or run this app. You see, as I have it now open, so I need to authorize it, and then my hardware wallet, which I don't have plugged in right now, will be able to communicate directly from with BTC Pay server, and that's the easiest user experience, because then everything is automated. So BTC Pay server will ask your hardware wallet to export public key, and that's good. I mean, the best way in which users can find a balance between ease of use, security, and in a way privacy is to use this BTC Pay Server Vault app, and then use it to import their wallet inside BTC Pay server. If something is unclear here, I promise that documentation here for wallet setup may be a bit better than me trying to like run through a bunch of stuff. So I recommend that you go back through some of these parts and read them there if you want to understand the workflow better. That's one thing. So you can use hardware wallet, which will automatically export this and set it up with the appropriate suffix. But if you want to manually export it from a wallet, then yeah, you need to add suffix from here. So we really need to solve how we can make it clearer to the users that they need to add suffixes based on which address type they want to use. Ideally, a user can create a new wallet inside BTC Pay server, and this is a bit tricky because when BTC Pay server first started, as I said, we on purpose did not allow wallet generation inside BTC Pay server because it can always be a big attack vector, right? I mean, BTC Pay server needs to be run online, and nobody wants like to be responsible for users losing their keys online and stuff like that. But we improved this process over the years, and now I won't go into a wallet file, by the way. It's something that I don't think is quite usable at this point for a newbie user. So I will focus on hardware wallet and new wallet creation, but all of this is documented in our documentation I already mentioned. So user can create a new wallet inside BTC Pay, and they are greeted with this like pop-up where they can generate a wallet, right? Now, there are some options here. You see, they can select address type from a drop down, and the address type will basically like convert their XPub key in appropriate format. So you're creating a new wallet, you only need to click generate. But this whole process here can probably be a bit more, I mean, it can be simplified. And let's say that you can also use a hot wallet. That means that when you generate a wallet, BTC Pay server will hold a private key on your server. So it is a hot wallet. If anybody hacks your server, they will be able to steal your funds, right? Because they can access your private key. However, hot wallet has some advantages, but you can read about them here. I will not go into them at this moment. So basically, user just needs to click generate a wallet, and we set up everything for them. But look at the UI now. This is how we show them a seed, their recovery seed. It's very bad. I mean, we really need to improve this part here. So yeah, that's basically that's the user workflow. So as you can see, first of all, derivation scheme, wallet configuration is in store, which for users does not make much sense, because when you tell them wallet setup, they think of a wallet and they would like to create a wallet and do it in the wallet, right? But because of the early days of BTC Pay server, everything is tied up to store. We have some plans in future to extract derivation scheme from stores and add it in the wallet. But the amount of work that requires and code refactoring is huge. So we would like to avoid it if it's possible at this point, because it is really a huge code refactoring. It will be tremendous amount of work. Okay, so you've seen that this is basically the biggest nightmare a BTC Pay server user needs to go through. Everything else is pretty simple, in my opinion, and it's just a minor improvement. But let me just show you now the ideas that I have for the user experience in store settings and setting up the derivation scheme. So just to repeat everything again, user creates a store, then they need to scroll all the way back to derivation scheme, and for some reason know that they need to click on modify wallet or create a new wallet. They basically need to click modify, and then from here they can add their XPub, paste it from their external wallet. They can import it directly from their hardware wallet, from a wallet file which they export from, again, one of these wallets, or they can create a new and existing seed. One more thing I forgot to mention is when user generates a seed inside BTC Pay server and does not click on tick the hot wallet, then this seed is presented only once. After that, we wipe it. And it is important that we have some sort of UI here to let users know that they need to back this up. And also the way in which we show it is really bad. We are aware of all of this. That's why we do not encourage users to use Create a Wallet yet. And yeah, so basically I will now show you ideas that I have for this experience, and I hope that it will get some creative juices flowing so that maybe people who are way better with the user experience and user interface than I am can chime in. So basically this is what I have in mind. So somehow we would have a wallet setup page inside store for now. Maybe in the future we can move it to the wallet, but for now let's say that user can pick to set up from an existing wallet or to generate a new one. If they choose an existing wallet, we can then show them next page, which is pick. If you have a hardware wallet, we would then in a way show them the app. If you remember the app I show you, so basically what we want them to directly connect hardware wallet to BTC Pay server, because direct hardware wallet integration in BTC Pay server allows users to simply use BTC Pay server wallet itself. So which is, I know that this all may be a bit confusing, but if you go to wallets, users can go to send, it's like any other wallet, and then they can sign a transaction with their hardware wallet, and they don't need to use an external app like Ledger, Trezor. So they're using their own full node on a server they own without leaking anything to third-party servers. This is a bit far-fetched now, I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I just wanted to show you why this hardware wallet integration is really ideal and important. So to get back to my mockups. So yeah, once they select that they want to, like, basically what they are saying here is, hey, I don't have a wallet yet, so you can generate a new one. Or yeah, I have a wallet, I backed it up properly, and then we tell them, yeah, you can import it inside your BTC Pay server. So if they go with an existing wallet, we can ask them, for example, do you have a hardware or a software wallet? And if they connect, and if they pick a hardware wallet, I would then show them a page that would somehow first explain that they need to download this app, which is the app is basically in a way a bridge between BTC Pay server and your hardware wallet. So there is no way for us to run this inside BTC Pay server for various technical reasons, but for now just remember that this is in a way a bridge that they need to open on their desktop, and then that hardware wallet integration will work. Anyway, we show them this page. They need to plug in their hardware wallet and then confirm on it the exportation of the public key. Or if they go with a software wallet, for example, we can ask them which software wallet you use. Now, this is very hard part to explain, especially without being too technical. But the reason I wanted to show here specific wallets is technical, because unfortunately majority of wallets for merchants suck because they do not provide configurable gap limit. And yeah, I won't go into that for now, but anyway, let's say that this is what if you do not know what gap limit is, or you need clarification on this part in particular, I recommend that you go to our documentation, simply type in gap limit, and then you can see I cover this part because it really annoyed me. So I recommend that you read this, the gap limit problem. I explained why in a way I want users to use a particular wallet, because it will save them time and in a way protect them from being scared of losing their funds. I won't go into details. So basically, you know, they can pick here wallet which they have. If they pick other, then what I would show them is, in a way, if you remember, I would show them this field basically where they can manually input their XPub key, right? And then we would also need to show them in how we can, you know, once they export XPub key, they also need to apply these suffixes depending on the address type they want to use. So if they don't apply address type, it will be like legacy addresses starting with 1. If they apply this, it is like SegWit compatible, which means that let's not go into this. I mean, basically, if you're a merchant, you will want to use this. If you want to use SegWit, actually you don't need to apply anything. But then if you're a merchant, some people may not be able to pay to you. I won't bother you guys with this. It's way too much for tackling this particular problem I want to focus on. So yeah, this is the idea that I have. So if they pick Electrum, we can show them some text where in Electrum they can find their public key, and then simply, like, I don't know, you see, maybe do some drop down instead of them having to apply like suffix manually. And yeah, ideally, I mean, the easiest way would be for user to simply generate their own wallet, but then we have an attack vector where, you know, we need to make sure that they properly back up their seed, and that they understand the importance of keeping your seed backed up. And yeah, this is the idea that I have on how to show the seed. It may not be ideal, but yeah, that's basically it. So that's the biggest, I say, user experience problem we have in BTC Pay Server. As I'm sure that if you never use BTC Pay Server at this point, you are probably confused. You're screaming why they are, you know, making wallet configuration inside this thing called stores. But yeah, as I said, BTC Pay as a software evolved over time. We added new features, and yeah, now, I mean, I understand why we had to do it, but you may not. Hopefully now you do. And yeah, I would like to invite you guys to join the discussion, maybe present some mockups that you have. If you want to go through this pain yourself and you don't have a BTC Pay server, you can go to our mainnet demo server, and then you can create an account. You see, you can go create an account here, and then, you know, add your email, and you will have a server to play on. I highly recommend that you try to go to this process yourself. So you may be wondering, what is it that actually saved our users from like messing things up and understanding? And I personally believe that's the documentation that we have, because in documentation we do explain all of these things and, you know, try to make it clear to users. We have a bunch of videos, step-by-step instructions, but ideally we would like people to be able to configure their wallet without going through documentation, perhaps, so that everything from user interface is clear to them. And one more thing, like, I understand that sometimes user interface needs to be simpler, but this is my personal view, prefer it to be educational, to educate user throughout the process and inform them of their private key, why it needs to be like backed up properly and so on. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Sorry if it was a bit ranty. Hopefully I managed to explain things. I opened an issue on GitHub where you can read more, where I will try to be concise, and I will put all of mockups that I had, so that we can get some discussion started and perhaps figure out how we can tackle this one. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me in this discussion so that we can come up with the best solution for BTC Pay Server users. Thanks, and bye bye.